All right, all right, all right. Greetings, gods and goddesses of training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. So I got this over here. I'll try wearing this because I'm in that kind of Halloween mood. Let's see this. Let's tap in. Here we go. All right, in that Kali mode, in that what would you call this? Right, Skeletor mode. Let's get it today, okay? Right in the charnel grounds, we about to break it down. Okay, let's go. Upward spiral gang to infinity and beyond. Okay. So I'm going to share the whiteboard for this one. This is a very interesting live stream for Halloween. And the title today is, of course, India's Monsters and Their Occult Codes and How to Walk Out Unscratched. Okay. Unscratched. So tonight is going to the veil is like a wound. The cremation ground winds hum with mantras that your ancestors forgot. And you are not a spectator, right? You are the shrine. So you got to stand tall. You got to breathe like thunder and listen. These beings are not fairy tales. They are almost like I see them as user manuals. I see them as user manuals for your nervous system. Okay, so this might be a different perspective than you're used to hearing about. Um, because I'll give you the esoteric facts and the exact protections that you need so that you don't get trapped and caught up in this with all these monsters and these different beings, okay? So without further ado, hold on, let me just share the link. Uh, wonder why the link is a bit slow. Okay, there we go. Hey there, Ellie. Thank you for sharing the link. All right. Hey there, my love. So I wanted to talk today about these different beings, right? Because they've been very interesting, and I've gotten this book. It's called From Makaras to Manticores, okay? That's just Shilajit on my finger, okay? Um, From Makaras to Manticores, and it's around 100 mythical creatures. So let's actually go through and check out some of these beings, okay? Random one. Let's see the first random one. Okay. Wow, that's hard to pronounce. Kainoke Falai. Okay. Kainoke Falai. Let's see any images like this, similar to this. Yes, there are. Oh, this is like a type of werewolf type of energy, I'm guessing. So, what does it say here? At first glance, they might look like dog-headed humans who come across as ferocious and scary, but according to Cestius, they were actually quite civil. He heard that the Kaino lived in the mountains of India, clothing themselves in the skins of wild beasts and communicating amongst themselves using barks and growls. Okay, how primal is this? So they were supposed to have teeth larger than dogs, and their nails were wolf-like but manicured. Dang, okay. And they were almost always dark in complexion and fur. Even though they understood local Indian languages, they were incapable of responding and relied on sign language and gestures to communicate with humans as well as one another. Okay? So these beings, they didn't know how to grow plants or do any of the jobs that, humans do. They survived by gathering fruits from the forest and hunting animals, which they slow roasted under the sun. They did, however, know how to rear animals, right? So very interesting, right? They're like the golden retrievers in human form in a certain way, right? Very, very interesting energy. And I wanted to break down, of course, there's some very basic ones that I wanted to break down for you guys, but These are very rare ones too that I'm finding through this book. So maybe we will break more down if you guys are interested in this stuff. Of course, we have the story of Indra and the Vritta, right? You might have heard of this. It's almost the drought dragon, right? That hoards your inner waters, you could say. Vritta swallows Indra and corks the world's rivers. So this is an archetype of blocked flow, okay? Mm, let's see here if there's any examples of this being. Yeah, I found one. Okay. So it's like a snake protecting treasure, right? And basically this is the why am I interested in this? This is an archetype of blocked flow, okay? Dried creativity, choked libido, parched prosperity, okay? And Indra only wins after forging the Vajra from a sage's bones, right? So that means sacrifice, which means clarity, which then means thunder, right? And so Indra's breath is very powerful. Seven sharp inhales through the nose, one explosive exhale through the mouth. Okay? So, okay? And then you visualize a diamond thunderbolt cracking a black serpent coiled around your solar plexus. That's the visualization. Om Indraya Nama, or 108 times Maha Mrityunjaya. Okay? Either one, you're going to tap into this, and if you keep some copper on your altar or you ring a bell, it can also very well, break the stagnation of your energy patterns. And if you draw a Vajra sigil on a piece of paper, and a lot of people in our culture we use sesame oil lamps, right? So that's another way that you can kind of uh, oppose or alchemize this flow, right, of the Vritha's energy. Then we have the Nagas, of course, the serpent kings of Patala. But I would say that the Nagas are also very, very similar um, to the energy of the undersoul chakras, right? Whereas the oversoul chakras are more so associated with the Garudas. According to what we've researched and know, of course, we had went to Bali, where Hinduism is also a very big part. And they have this beef with each other, right? Which we at the time we didn't really understand this beef, myself and Ryan G. So we were trying to like merge and fuse them together, which is why we do the Nagaruda mudra to create this pillar of light above and a pillar of light below. And Nagas rule liminal waters. Okay, so um, it's a dream beneath seven underworlds and holding a cosmic memory. So Shesha bears Vishnu, and Vasuki becomes the rope that churned the ocean of milk, right? So they bless or curse depending on your ecological ethics and sexual integrity. Okay. And don't pollute water. This is very, very important for protection against Nagas. Do not pollute water. Okay. Clean water is also a big part of our movement. So you can offer turmeric milk, okay, either at a clean anthill or a temple, um, or on Nagapanchami, okay. And Om Namo Bhagavate Vasukaye, or Sheshananta, you could say. If you repeat these mantras, they'll help you with the Naga energies. You could even use Nagaraja and just chant Nagaraja over and over again, because this is what we've noticed. The 11-headed or the 11 Mukhi Rudraksh over the heart sometimes helps to stabilize this serpent fire, right? And then they say this weird rule of like no lying or betrayal for 7 days post a ritual, right? So they hate this weird duplicity that humans do. Anyway, the Garudas are the solar raptors, right? They're like slayers of the snake's spells. So the spooky intel is they freed Garuda's mother from Naga bondage by raiding heaven for Amrita, which is like this very sacred essence, right? Source, and choosing service to Vishnu over supremacy, victory yoked to Dharma, right? So Garuda Kavacham is like a recitation for us against snakes, nightmares, poison, fears, and stuff like this. And you can also burn camphor. It's also called kapur. Um, and frankincense. Okay, I have a frankincense right here. It's very powerful. I use it all the time. Okay, it's very good for balancing out masculine and feminine energies. Okay, so very powerful there. And yeah, I've noticed that these energies are kind of opposites, but they work so well together once you understand them, right? Because we have to understand our shadows and we also have to understand our light, right? It's not one or the other, or they keep battling with each other. Of course, the symbolism is always like the eagle and the snake are always battling with each other, right? However, when you combine them, they become the dragon, right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting, right? And the dragon archetype, I mean, has been, of course, we know of the Makara, right? I'm Uncle Makara, the abysmal gatekeeper, almost the sea dragon or the threshold sentinel with temples and boats, right? So it marks crossroads, doorways, and the edge of your psyche, essentially. So if you chalk a Makara above your door, like if you just draw a little sea monster above your door, it's actually very protective. But you can also keep like a copper vessel of clean water near the entrance, right? Because this will reset that energy field of the Makara. Um, of course, I mean, the Makara, we don't really have many images here. Um, Let me just find a one that works. This is the closest one that we have right now, but it's kind of similar looking to this, okay? Of course, there's many different depictions, but essentially the paws of a lion, right, and the ears of a elephant, including this, or the tusks of an elephant, right, and peacock's tail, and it has a bunch of other factors to it, right? And of course, I had been adopted by this energy spiritually for it to be my moniker eventually, right? So very, very interesting stuff. Is there anyone else on the live? Let me just check. Okay, no one else is tuning in currently. Okay, so let's go to the next ones, guys. Let's go to the Vetalas. The Vetalas are like the cremation ground oracles, okay? They're the ones who know the past and the future. So they possess corpses and they sometimes will even speak in riddles that snap your ego like a twig, right? So basically, time is its toy. And Om Namah Shivaya just 11 times, or the Mahamrityunjaya 11 times, and then sitting perfectly for 3 minutes, keeping the dharba grass on the right hand, I believe. Um, and offering black sesame and water for the unsettled dead, right? So these are just some laws. You know, they use vibhuti or sacred ash sometimes over the third eye and the heart. But yeah, Om Namah Shivaya will do it. It will do it, right? Shiva's energy is definitely powerful for this. Of course, I work with Kalabhairava. His energy is also very potent for working against these particular beings, okay? Let's see if we can find any pictures of this. Give you guys a reference. Okay, these are creepy. But I'll give you guys a reference of sort of how they look. They might even be like a little bit like vampire bats, right? They're like the original Batman, okay? No, they're like the vampires in a sense, right? So Yeah, they're like oracles that sit in the cremation grounds and they give advice, right? Based on different things. Then, of course, we have the unfinished dead, the Buddhas and Pretas. They wear white clothes. They usually have feet that go backwards. And they speak very nasally, right? They speak really super nasally like a witch. And they definitely fear iron. Okay. So Buddhas and Pretas uh, are quite common, okay, in India. And this is why we put red chilies. If you guys have seen mustard seeds or dried chilies outside of doors, that's the protection against these ghosts. Okay. And also burnt turmeric smoke is a very good one. So preta means essentially the metaphor for preta is a craving made into a body. Okay. A craving for something. So it can be a craving for something external, right? Outside of the physical body, right? And so you can use things like a rock salt, right? You can, hold on, guys. এই যে আমি লাইভ ভিডিও করছি। Okay. So লাইভ ভিডিও করছি, এত চেঁচাও না। Okay. So sorry about that, guys. It's always freaking noise over here. Um, the pindadana, right, or the tarpana, or sometimes these like ancestral offerings, right? Where you have to light a sesame oil lamp that faces north, okay? Now, I don't want you guys to like follow all these rules, right? I'm not saying I don't value like just randomly following rituals, but I have done the research and I have done the inner work to understand some of these things that my culture uses in order to protect itself, right? So I'm just giving you guys the like the spiritual background, right? The backing of this stuff to really help you understand like how can I use this stuff within my own context, right? That's what I really want for you. So don't look at it as like, oh yeah, he's talking about Indian ghosts. It doesn't apply to me. It might just apply to you, right? So you don't know. Um, then we have, of course, the churales or the chudales. They The churales are like really, really creepy, bro. Wait, let me see if I can find a proper image of this. I mean, this is kind of like what pretas look like. Very creepy, dude. Okay. Um, and then yeah, this is like boots. They're very yeah, they're out there. Okay, they're definitely out there. And of course, yeah, this one was the Vitala type, right? Kind of like a vampire being. What else? Which one were we looking at currently? The Churales, right? Okay, let me write it out first. So this one, I actually saw this weird okay thing on YouTube. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, there we go. This is quite hilarious. I don't know if this format works. No, it doesn't. Unsupported file type. Okay, I guess I'll have to use this image as an example. But they're just like scary looking witches, okay? That it's not really hard to find these beings because everybody keeps talking about them. And I think the more people talk about a certain being, the more you're just feeding off of it and like it's you're summoning it, right, in a certain sense. So be very, very careful, right? I'm giving you the protection though, so it's all good, right? Don't be too spooked out, even though it is Halloween. I'll also give you some tips to stay safe during Halloween time, okay? So these are like grief demonesses, right? Their feet are turned backwards, similar to the Buddhas, Bhoots and the Prets. And and they feed on neglected sorrow. And they also feed on male vanity. Okay? Male vanity. So all those guys, right? Those Indian guys, hello, sir, like on their motorcycles, trying to act cool, trying to, flip their hair back. Hey, man, some churros might be after you. Just be careful, okay, bro? Just be careful. And you got to keep iron at the threshold, a nail or a horseshoe. There's a Nimbu Mirchi talisman, a lemon with chilies, hung outside for 9 nights. I do know there's also camphor and turmeric. So you're noticing kind of a pattern here, right? With all of these. There's turmeric, there's camphor, there's chilies, right? Kind of are getting it, right? It's kind of interesting to note the Hindu traditions. Of course, there's also Durga and Mahishasur, right? Like no man could kill Mahishasur, so the gods fused their powers and Durga rode out on a lion. So this is like a trident through tyranny because when scattered will unites under Shakti, chaos will have to kneel, right? And this is why the red thread is the Raksha Sutra is sometimes worn on the right wrist. It's very protective, as well as a mustard oil lamp on to Kali on the new moon. Okay. And if you keep a an offering to a dog, a Bhairav offering for Saturdays, um, or you keep a shami leaf, that's also very good for that. Then we have the were tigers, man. Of course, you guys know, some of you guys who follow this channel and know about me and this process. I have a guide who is called Chief Deno, right? And Chief Deno is a were tiger being. Now, this were-tiger being is, of course, associated more so with the Native American pantheon and like this. Let me just show you guys this. So, however, okay, it's not showing it. Let me see if I can copy it like this. Okay, yeah. Okay. How to become a were-tiger. So in Java or in Bali, right? This was there. According to legend, there's several ways a person can turn into a were-tiger. In Malaysia, only sorcerers can change a human into a beast, and they tend to charge a lot of money for such a service, of course, right? And on the island of Java, a person just has to recite the words of a curse while wearing a tiger costume. Damn. Okay. So it's actually a curse, right? Becoming a were-tiger is most gruesome in Bali. A person has to steal the guts from a dead body, boil them in broth, and drink it. Okay? That's freaky, man. That's really freaky. According to some legends, only the dead can become were-tigers. If someone who led a bad life prays for forgiveness as they die, they may rise up from the grave and slowly transform into a tiger. Okay? Very interesting stuff. Now, these were-tigers are in folk tantra as well, I believe, because a lot of sorcerers they wear these striped skins or bloodlines, kind of curse shift at dusk, right? So, and also a tail missing from a tiger is sometimes seen as an omen. So these are there's like a drum beats and a conch. I know that they do at sundown. And they also, of course, mustard seed, neem twigs. You already know the deal, right? Let me see here. Who's tapping into this? Okay, still nobody watching. Only my baby girl watching. Okay. Or let me reload it. All right, two people watching now. Great, fantastic. Anyway, you guys can watch the replay, okay? But this is very, very keen, very, very powerful, these things, guys. Like, it just fills me up with so much insight. Like, there was this one being the Bear King of memory, right? The Jambavan, who was born from Brahma's yawn, bro, right? He was born from a yawn, and then a being becomes born, right? How bizarre and how surreal and how actually epic is that, right? That you have these ideas. Some of you guys are going to go and make animated shows out of these, right? Let me, give examples. There's the Bhuta, there's the Preta, there's the Bear King, right? Or whatever. Um, so these Bear Kings, right? That you have to whisper this and to protect yourself from these beings. Say Smara Shaktim, which means remember power. Samara Shaktim. Okay. And then you ask the question, where did I abandon myself? And the answers oftentimes they come as different encrypted light language paw prints. Isn't that interesting? Right? So these beings are very OP, very, very overpowered. Okay. And then, of course, we have Narasimha and Sarabha, right? The rage reports to wisdom. They're like man-lion avatars treading tyranny at a threshold no law covers. So that's when, you know, Siva becomes Sarabha, eight-limbed storm. Okay. And Narasimha for phobias, black magic panic can be very useful, including, I believe, Sarabheswara Stota, right? Which is like to settle the excessive Mars fire energy. And you can also offer rice or jaggery to a black dog, okay, which is Bhairava's Vahana, okay? And of course, we have the Kirtimukha. Now, all these beings that I mentioned, they're very, very potent, okay? And you don't want to go around like just messing and invoking with these beings, right? Like just trying to bring them about in your place because it's going to be pretty chaotic, man. Okay? Unless you know what's happening in terms of this, right? And so the mystery of Kirtimukha is the face that ate itself, right? It's a creature that's older than fear. It's often carved into the gateways of almost every Indian temple, you know? And that's like the real face of glory. So he's like the initiation. He's like kind of a guardian of threshold, you can say. And very similar to the Makara's energy. So you guys might see it in the form of like similar to like Mahakala or any of these other protective beings, right? So this is an example of this. Kirtimukha, the ego that ate itself. Okay, so born from Shiva's wrath, it devoured its own body till only a protective face remained. Okay, so it ate its own body, bro. The ego ate itself, right? It was installed on lintels to eat pride, envy, and infestations. So if you place this emblem over your main door and you feed it incense weekly, saying, eat what hunts my house. Please eat what hunts my house. It will be protective towards you, right? And then, of course, you have the Gandharvas and the Apsaras. Apsaras are almost like the fairies of this Hindu pantheon, you could say. They're very elegant. And the Gandharvas, they score your soul. So I would say Lobon, okay? Benzoin before deep work. And 9 breaths through the left nostril to cool the lust swarm. And then splashing cold water on the eyes is also a very good one, okay? Because it makes you remain back towards where you're actually trying to go with this. Then we have Vadavagni, the submarine fire, which is like Shiva's wrath in the sea, which is it's interesting. You could use Om Som Somaya Nama, which is very powerful to the Chandra mantra, where you have 16 sips of water and then you do this mantra. You can charge the mantra in the water and drink it as well. Okay. That's very, very powerful. Then let's just name a few other ones. Okay, we're gonna wrap up soon, guys. J Gajasura is this kind of elephant demon, you could say. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gajasura is the elephant demon worn as a cloak. So Shiva actually skins arrogance and wears it, right? Later, that head became Ganesha's shadow into Guardian. Okay. So if one vice stalks you, wear its symbol until it loses charge. That's the law. Okay. So if you, let's say, you're an alcoholic, you love drinking, you just put a little like alcohol symbol on your jacket, or you get a little soft toy of a bottle, right? You get something that loses its charge because now you're accepting it. It's not this big deal in your mind, right? Like, oh my goodness, it's such a big deal. I can't stop this habit. It's ruining me, right? Instead, you're like, it's here, right? And it loses its charge. So you're invoking Ganesha actually daily to reassign that power to the threshold keeping instead of the Gajasura sabotage, right? And then, like I said, avoid mirrors at 3 to 4 a.m. Okay. They're like doors when prana is very, very low. Just careful. Okay. Don't look at your own reflection when you get up in the middle of the night. Like, who do I look like? Am I looking cool? Don't do that. Okay. Don't sleep with also mirrors facing the bed. It's not a good idea, but you could do whatever you want. Place a lemon with four cloves under the bed for 3 nights. That's a good way to get rid of boots as well. Or, a lot of people just say, oh, Hanuman Chalisa, right? Which is great as well. Shout out to my gift from Ellie, the Hanuman pendant. If activity persists, then maybe a Devi or Shiva shrine visit before sunrise. Okay. So, like we said, let's talk about the field kit, especially for these Indian beings. Okay. They're ruthless, bro. For real. First, we have iron. Okay. Iron, like a nail, a horseshoe, a small bar, an iron pendant, something near your bed, near the thresholds, open rooms, right? Rock salt. You can put it near your bath or the four corner bowls of in rooms, and you can also change it weekly, right? Rock salt. Next, we have mustard seeds. Okay. Mustard seeds and red chilies. Let's add the lime into it as well. Okay. Tulsi and neem, you can buy twigs or just boil them and then spritz them in certain corners of your space. Okay. Rudraksh beads or malas, right? Over the heart. You can also have a black thread on your left ankle for wanderers. Okay. Of course, I mentioned the Red Raksha Sutra. Let's see. Yep, on the right wrist, and sesame oil lamp or key lamp. South facing for ancestors, I think, and then it's like key lamp for devas, east facing. Um, Conscious, okay? A a conscious like a seashell, right? The shanka that we call. So you blast right in Indian rituals. Okay. Very annoying to listen to, but kind of puts you in a trance. Yeah, those conchas. And of course, yantras are very, very powerful. And mantras of different kinds. Okay. Very, very powerful. Om Namah Shivaya, Narasimha Kavacham, Devi Kavacham, Hanuman Chalisa, right? Maya Mrityunjaya, all of these. Very, very good. And if it's an emergency, you just stand barefoot, 12 breaths deep into the belly, and then you circle walk your space clockwise with frankincense or camphor, and you can chant some mantra, salt line at thresholds, place iron on the main door, maybe from some more of these advices you can apply, like you offer some black sesame or some water. All who wander hungry be fed and free. This house is for Dharma. Okay. And there will be a nice energetic flow in your space, right? Very powerful. And your ethics, remember, are your strongest talismans, right? Entities will read your vibration, not your vocabulary. Okay. This is very important to note. Cleanliness in your body and space is the number one ritual. I have to still learn that one, okay? And gratitude to ancestors stops 80% of hauntings. For real. It's a quick hack. They're just unpaid memory debts, right? And don't spray mantras like bullets, please. Aim, commit to the mantra, and finish it, okay? Don't mix mantras, don't mix Deva Devis with an Asura being, keeping them next to each other. Just don't do stupid shit, right? You already know what to do. Just be very sovereign when you do this, right? You wear your conquered vices as a royal cloak. You feed the dead. You serenade your dragons. You ride your tiger. And the night respects you because now you have a sovereign nervous system, right? Halloween isn't cute pumpkins and candy. It's a spiritual open season. The veil is thinning, right? The veil is thinning right now. And this is what we have to understand. We have to walk through these hidden fields, right? Electrical, emotional, spiritual fields. And when you become very scattered or you become like addicted to scrolling or worrying about who texted you back, or you start leaking charge, right? Like a cracked battery. So on Halloween night, the collective frequency actually starts to dip. Okay. So that means drunk energy, lust energy, lost soul energy. Okay. A lot of this is churning into a soup where disembodied impulses start to sniff for any kind of open circuits. So the first law that I'm giving you is to seal your field. That's law number one. Okay. When you can seal your own field, what you're really saying is you're breathing your soul back into your physical body and you're pulling your awareness in from all directions at once. Okay. So old memories, people from your past, half open tabs in the mind, right? It could be, different things. You just inhale them all of the way at the top of the crown and you let it go. You notice the sensations and then you let it go. All that is mine return, all that is not mine depart. All that is mine return, all that is not mine, please leave. Thank you. Swaha. Okay. We say swaha, by the way, at the end of different rituals, right? So I've gotten into a habit of saying it. It essentially means I surrender to the divine, or it means like I drop all, you know, sense of self. It's basically a selflessness, right? It's like a way to devote yourself to the divine. So it's a way to consecrate or to end a specific ritual, almost like saying "so be it," right? For a lot of magic practitioners in the West, they would use "so be it" or "and so it is done, amen," right? So it's kind of a similar way to end rituals. Okay, so very, very powerful understandings. And of course, don't The astral buildup is actually really, really important. Okay. So when you go to sleep, it's very important that you you keep certain things like under your bed or for protection or certain symbols that even give you protection, right? Your body is not your armor, your awareness is, right? So the old tantrics and the shamans, they didn't wear metal crosses or garlic chains. They radiated presence so deep that all of these astral parasites, they suffocated on contact upon meeting them. So if you want protection, you have to stop acting like a prey. Okay? You light the candle not to keep ghosts away, but to remind the room who the living God is. So salt in every corner, iron nails, camphor, all this stuff you can do. Also playing music, right? Music is such a great one, but make sure you're very aware. It's not too jarring for you because again, the veil is thin, okay? And music opens memory loops, nostalgia loops in your mind. So it might make you sad, okay? It might make you go into your past and start ruminating on the past. So just be conscious of how you're playing music, what kind of music you're playing. If it's lifting you up, your vibration is positive, right? That's great. And yeah, control your will center. That's really, really important. Entities feed on the microsecond of freeze before your awareness, okay, returns. So laugh, right? A fearless laugh is like a very big protection energetically from these beings, right? It burns through position faster than any ritual in my own perspective. So just laugh, have a great time, raise your vibration. They hate that, right? That you're feeling so good internally. So lean into that. You're in training right now. Okay, you're not in danger. This is Halloween initiation through chaos. Don't run from the dark. Just light your lamp, clean your space, align your breath, honor your ancestors with gratitude. Okay, and when you wake up tomorrow, just burn a piece of paper with one word that you want dead in your life. That's it. Fear, shame, resentment, something you want to get rid of. Bury the ash in soil or wash it in running water, and the earth will digest it better than your nervous system can. Okay, this is what I've noticed. And again, barefoot on holy ground, like I said, shoulders back, eyes soft but unblinking. Okay, try and keep that posture. You are at the crossroads right now where light and shadow are going to shake hands, and the devils can't harm the one who knows that he's already walked through hell but came out singing. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, all right, let's see some of the comments are up here. All right, let's go. Upward Spiral Gang. Can I offer rice to Cinti? Yeah, for sure, babe. I think your dog is very, very connected. Looks like Vi Bhairava's dog, actually. It's a black dog, so it's a perfect. Every time you feed Cinti, if you just keep Shiva's name in mind or Bhairava's name in mind, yeah, it will be definitely powerful for you. Definitely powerful for you. And oh my God, it's the opposite of Ganesha. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the vice, it's the shadow Ganesha, right? In a sense. Very powerful. Mathis says normalize, neutralize, increases the vibes. Yeah, absolutely. Because you got to maintain the vibes, right? Just rise and drop, right? You have to kind of keep it going, keep the flow moving, right? Oh, thank you for the hearts, baby girl. Mathis says they feed on emotional attachment. Yeah. Always ungrounded emotions, always a slippery slope. Stoic presence fixes all of it, actually. Fearlessness by now presence equals untouchable. Sounds easy, huh? Easier said than done, brother. For sure. And if they do feed off of, they like to feed off of the emotional overwhelm. You're right. So if you're getting all these like graphic images in your mind of this negativity, or you're feeling like all these like ways that you're just belittling yourself, just observe it. Don't give it that much power. and return back to now consciousness, the eternitas space consciousness, where, yeah, you just allow yourself to hold yourself like a mountain. All these beings will try to disturb you, like Maran with Buddha, right? It will try to come in and try to distract you. If you just remain present, if you remain sovereign, hey, they're gonna scatter like cockroaches, okay? Intend in the end. Yantra equals third eye portal, underrated. Mm, yeah, yeah. And yeah, yantras are really great. I believe different gods in Hinduism have different yantras too, so definitely look them up. There could be different styles, that speak to you much better than other sacred geometries. So yeah, just find a way to kind of work with your own energies and see what you can pull from, really. I do find that there are a lot of similarities of these Indian kind of myths and mythical monsters and other pantheons too. Let's actually go through this book. Any last ones? We'll do a little Russian roulette, or not Russian roulette, but just Oracle deck or randomness. Okay, let's flip it. Ready, go. Float. Okay, let's see here. The Odontotyrannos. Damn, these names are freaking incredible, huh? Anyway, this is okay, you guys can't see it. Disappears, right? Kind of an iguana, but giant. I was instantly reminded of Alexander the Great and his troops. Truth be told, it's hard to say if that was an actual river he camped beside, or it could have been Punjab for all we know. The story goes back to Alexander was waging a war against the Indian king Porus or Puru. And one day, when he camped by the riverside, the men from his army saw a beast unlike anything they'd ever seen. It had come to drink water, but when it saw a crowd of people encroaching on its territory, it grew mad with rage. Oh, that's why it became black in color, guys, right? That's why it became black in color with three horns growing out of its forehead. And its face was like horse-like and larger than anything they'd seen. In fact, they said it was so large it could swallow an elephant in a single gulp. Dang. Dang. Okay. That's intense. And according to the letter by Alexander, the creature wasn't disturbed by fire or the arrows that his army shot at it. It charged right at them, killing 26 men and injuring 52 more. It took at least 100 men with hunting spears to finally put an end to the beast. Dang. And took about 200 more to drag its body out of the river. Although the Armenian version says 1,300. What the? So this means tooth tyrant, this particular being, named for its large jaws and menacing teeth. That's interesting, right? To kind of give these certain beings like nicknames, right? Very interesting. I know the opposite of Ganesha. I saw a documentary about him. Wow, that's super cool, babe. You're always tapped into these things. Um, but yeah, happy Halloween to all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little live stream. You know, it was kind of cool to go through all of these different ones with you guys. And if any other cool ones come up, of course, I'm gonna let you guys know because I'm diving into this book and kind of reflecting on my own experiences now. Like, wait a second. I definitely think there's something here for me to explore, right? Or I felt like this before, or maybe I've seen this being in my dreams, right? I remember when we saw skinwalkers in New Zealand and, the whistling ghosts in Costa Rica and all of these different beings whenever we travel. So I wonder what's going to happen in Sedona this time. Um, Hopefully, some very epic things are going to emerge, and I hope everything unfolds the way that it should, and we align properly. Thank you so much, guys, for tapping in. If you have any questions, let me know. You already know what it is. Upward Spiral Gang to infinity and beyond. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, to infinity and beyond, Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. May the flow be with you. Us, let's keep winning. Let's keep winning. See you on the other side. Let's win. Boom.